Now to our first story, multimedia journalist Erastus Asare-Donko says the challenges involved in reporting on Galamsey will not deter him from uncovering the dangers illegal mining poses to the country. The 2022 GJA Journalist of the Year and his crew were recently attacked at an illegal mining site in Ashanti region in their line of duty. Erastus was slapped multiple times by the illegal miners who were armed with guns. This is not the first time he has been attacked for just doing his work. Some of them were arrested and subsequently granted bail and are due to be processed for court tomorrow. But speaking on News File, Asare-Donko vowed to continue reporting on Galamsey.
I really hope that this has not led to a point where you become afraid to continue with your work.
No, it hasn't gotten there, but we are looking for justice. Secondly, we want our items returned. In fact, those drone batteries, the tablets are very expensive for common journalists like us. We bought them with our own money, and we need them back. And I think the police will do a very good job to get those items back to us. This is what we do. We only have to be.
We apologize for the hitch in the sound. They will bring it back in a subsequent blood. In the police, the office of the president, MPs and tax officials are the most corrupt in Ghana today. That's the findings in the CDD's Afrobarometer report, which is the latest in the country. The report points to a broad lack of trust in institutions such as the judiciary, the tax authorities, the presidency and parliament. Skepticism is particularly high toward officials perceived as corrupt, with 74% of Ghanaians indicating that corruption levels have worsened in the past year. The slides you see on your screens is at a glance tells you the trust in institutions according to the Afrobarometer report. Among them, key public institutions, the Ghana Armed Forces, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and non-governmental and civil society organizations are the most trusted there. When it talks about corruption, the three quarters, that is 74% of Ghanaians say the overall level of corruption in the country has increased during the past year. When it talks about election, a large majority, that is 72% of Ghanaians, oppose lowering the voting age from 18 to 16 years. Now, before those considerations were made, these were the demographic figures that were used to ascertain the outcome of this particular survey. So out of it, when you talk about gender, male and female, they considered 50% male and 50% female. In terms of educational outcomes, 13% had no formal education, with 20 having gone to the primary school. Also, we see that out of it, 75% were Christians, while 18 were Muslim, with 4% others. Out of the findings, among key public institutions, the Ghana Armed Forces, religious leaders and traditional leaders, okay, yes, these were some of the key issues that came to light. Trust in key state institutions officials witnessed marginal declines compared to the 2022, but major declines since 2022. So the trust levels in state institutions has gone down marginally, basically. So the question is, who is corrupt? First on the list, we can see the police, who scored 63% assessment, followed by the office of the president, who scored 54%. Next are tax officials, who had 53%, followed by members of parliament, who was considered the fourth corrupt institution. Also, judges were not far off, with judges and magistrates. We see the Electoral Commission being the sixth, and the Metropolitan, Municipal, or District Assemblies were passed. Now, if you go down, you can see non-governmental organizations were considered least corrupt, followed by private media journalists, including religious leaders, in that order from below. Now, joining us via phone is the anti-corruption campaigner, Emmanuel Worsened. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello, good evening.
Great. How does the public's lack of trust in state institutions like the judiciary, tax authorities, presidency, and parliament impact governance and civil engagement in Ghana?
Well, what it simply does is that it weakens the foundation or the pillar on which or around which our governance revolves. And I'm not so surprised about this findings that have come. I'm just disappointed because if you compare the Afrobarometer's report last year to this one, it is very clear that this time we have done so poorly. It means that the perception or the trust that individuals have in these institutions, every day it seems to be weakening. And when you get to a stage where majority of the citizens end up saying that they don't believe in the governance or the democracy that you are practicing, in other words, they don't believe in the institutions that makes up the governance system that we are practicing, what it means is that they will want to go for another alternative. And we all know that if individuals decide that they are not going for democracy, they are not believing in the governance we have, they will go for another option, which may be either a military rule, a dictatorship, or any other different from what we have. And so what makes it worrying is the fact that speedily, it looks like we are not helping our governance system, we are not protecting it. We are rather creating perceptions and we are creating activities. We are building or engaging in activities that seem to be deepening that perception or that belief by citizens.
All right, Emmanuel.
The governance system is not what we need.
Okay, Emmanuel, by what you're saying, what measures can be taken to address the growing perception of corruption among Ghanaians, especially given that 74% believe corruption has worsened in the past year?
Ghana's problem has to do with our constitution, and that's why we consistently say that what we need in fighting corruption or correcting the perceived corruption that we have in this country is for us to have a holistic constitutional review. Our 92 constitution needs to be reviewed holistically. And by so doing, we need to concentrate a bit more on the chapter that deals with the executive. Our constitution centralizes power. And the very moment you have centralized power, it breeds corruption and it makes the citizens not to have trust in the institutions. And that is why if you look at the report that has come, you see that among some of the institutions that the citizens do not have confidence in includes the presidency, it includes the judiciary, it includes the legislature. These are the three arms of government, not to talk of the police and the others. So what we need fundamentally is for us to have a holistic constitutional review with particular reference to the executive chapter, where we would decentralize power instead of giving power to just one arm or giving power to just some individuals or some institutions in this country.
All right. Before we go, what do you make of the private media being adjudged one of the least corrupt institutions when we talk about our democracy subsequently?
I'm not surprised it happened that way because, you see, in fighting corruption, one of the elements you need has to do with transparency. And that is why the very moment you create the impression to the to the citizens that your institution is transparent enough, they will end up trusting you. I think over the past years, or the 1 year past, we've been able to have our media being so transparent, engaging the public to the extent that now the ordinary citizen will want to take his or her issue to the media other than taking it to the police or to any of the other institutions. I think it is just because the media has convinced Ghanaians that they are transparent enough, and if they have an issue, they can rely or they can trust the channel that the media brings.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Worsened. Emmanuel is an anti-corruption campaigner giving us updates, especially on the Afrobarometer report that was released recently. Now, moving on, Heritage Christian University College, as part of keeping its commitment to empowering students for the professional world, has hosted a career mentorship program designed for fresh senior high school graduates, blending career guidance with hands-on skills training. The event brought students from different senior high schools across the country. Collins Frimpong has more in the following report.
With over 2 weeks of immersive learning, Participants delved into different fields, ranging from graphic designing to entrepreneurship, emerging with not just knowledge, but practical experience. The climax of the show saw graduates in 4 different disciplines present impactful projects: a journalism team's expose on illegal mining, a web design group's newly created marketing website, and beadwork crafted by the art class. For many of the participants, the program is more than mentorship. It is a launch pad into the world of new possibilities.
First, I've been able to improve on my public speaking skills and my presentation skills, and I've been able to control my anxiety before presenting live or anywhere.
I had small idea about what I came here to do, but it wasn't full. So since I came here, I'm now okay for the graphic design.
Series has actually been fun, like interactive. I wasn't actually expecting to learn a lot, but then this series I've actually learned a lot. How to make beads with how to make earrings with beads, necklace with beads, bracelets with beads, how to make whey, how to make liquid soup. It's actually been nice.
They believe the skills acquired will help them to navigate the next stage of their lives.
I didn't know anything about web designing, but when I got here, I was able to use the coding languages like the HTML and the JavaScript.
So as part of the IT, I have to do the graphic design. Well, imagine a person telling me to produce a flyer for the person. It entails a lot. It's cost too. You have to pay.
Since I came here, I can see that I'm good at talking to people, so I feel like going into marketing or something human resource related would be okay for me.
Senior Assistant Registrar and Head of Admissions, Ebenezer Danso, emphasized on the value of the mentorship and appealed to corporate partners for support.
One of the biggest problems we have as a country where people say there's no job. I think if you ask our students, they will tell you that it's job, but because we have not been kind of prepared confidently enough from the basics in order to work towards where we want to go. So if there's anything that is successful with them, I think it's the mindset they are going home with. But it's a yearly thing. So parents, teachers, counselors, career advisors, this is a program that I think next year we intend to make it bigger than we have done, involving corporate institutions so that we can even add excursions.
The next session of the Heritage Christian University College SHS Mentorship Seminar is scheduled from the 9th to the 23rd of November this year. Collins Frimpong for Joy News.
Now, the president of the Academic City University College, Fred Magbagunluri, has called for an educational curriculum that integrates STEM education and entrepreneurship to better prepare young people in Africa for the rapidly evolving global economy, adding that the course could not only encourage creative thinking and equip students with essential skills such as financial management and problem solving, but also contribute to the country's long-term development. He spoke at the 75th Speech and Prize Giving Day of the Laboni Senior High School earlier today.
The idea of teaching STEM education, or STEAM education for that matter, is not intended to make everybody an engineer or a scientist, but is to prepare everybody for this new language. It's a language of science and technology. So whether you are an accountant, whether you are in the fintech space, whether you are a finance person, whether you are an artist, science and technology is coming at you so fast. I think the next government we are going to have will have to emphasize science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. The challenges that we have in this country is about leadership, because with a clearer understanding of what science and technology is capable of doing, we can make decisions. We will understand that constructing roads cannot be done in a vacuum. We will understand that even if you want to promote food production, it cannot be done in isolation. So you are going to need your drone technologies, you are going to need your computer scientists. And if there is one thing that I will throw out there, we need to know how many of these kinds of professions we need to produce. How many computer scientists are we going to need in the next 25 years? How many computer engineers? How many lawyers? How many doctors? Because it is based on these projections that you can actually have a national development plan that is meaningful. Still
staying on education, according to the headmistress, Cynthia Obo-Inti, Facilities such as the dining hall and assembly hall need upgrades due to the increasing student population.
We celebrate our 53rd and 75 years, 53rd Speech and Prize Giving Day and 75 years of the existence of the school. We are so thankful to God. Besides that, we have some challenges. Our numbers have increased. I took over the office in March 2022 with a student population of 2,385. Today, as it stands, we are 4,768. And the facilities have not been increased. So we make do with what we have. And we would wish that we'll have more furniture. Our assembly hall will be expanded. Our dining hall will be expanded to accommodate the large numbers. And so far, I must say that Laboni is good to go. We have a lot of our old students in prominent positions, both home and abroad. And I must say that we are so proud of them. And over the years, aside the help of the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the old students and the parents have been very supportive.
We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to JoyNews Prime. Now to more news. Joy Prime's culinary extravaganza, Big Chef Tertiary saw 7 schools battle it out in the kitchen to impress the buyer judges as they took on the local food section. At the end of the episode, a team sadly exited the kitchen after failing to impress the judges with their meals. Lois Shola Adeyemi has more in this report.
Prime's culinary reality TV show Big Chef Tertiary last Sunday saw all 7 tertiary institutions enter the kitchen ready to impress the judges with their meals in the local food extravaganza and fortune dessert challenge.
Wow me with your food, with your plating, and also bear in mind your nutritional content. Do not overcook your ingredients.
It's local food extravaganza and the special fortune dessert. So ladies and gentlemen, you have 40 minutes, all the best, but your time starts now.
The tension in the kitchen turned all the way up as contestants were halted halfway into the cooking. A representative from Fortune entered the kitchen with secret ingredients for each team. The contestants were instructed to infuse the secret ingredients into their meals.
You'll have 10 minutes for your Fortune dessert.
Fortune brand likes to do a little bit of mystery and adding certain things to our meals in the kitchen. You're going to add these to your meals right here on your tables, and let's see how it goes.
All contestants presented their meals to the judges for tasting. Linda and Elizabeth sadly said their goodbyes to the remaining 6 teams as their meals failed to impress the judges. Representatives of Ho Technical University, Sharifa and Jones, beamed with smiles as they emerged as the star school of the day.
Guys, in moderation, it's so nice.
Well done.
Thank you. This is something you can actually get in a restaurant. Okay. Even better. I like the flavors. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well done. Star School of the Day, who are you saving? Time is running out. Save someone.
We are asking one person to stay. All 3 are our favorites, so who stays? Takade, please.
Okay, so they are saving Takade Technical University.
This school has improved and they keep on surprising us. So the Star School of the Day goes to Ho Technical University.
Okay, let's see you. Ho Technical University is the Star School again. Congratulations, this is the 2nd time being the Star School. Ladies and gentlemen, here's where we end today's episode. Unfortunately, CCTU is saying goodbye.
This Sunday, the 6 tertiary schools will take on the Flavor Infusion and Indomie Challenge. Which team will impress the judges and which team will exit the kitchen? Tune in to Joy Prime at 5 p.m. to catch all the fun in the kitchen.
That's all for the news here on Prime News. My name is Winston Taki. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.